I'll mention STO stuff in my what I've been doing because that's what I've been doing.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yes, we are live. All right.
I was gonna say it means we'll have a light show, but I know us, and it might just be our longest show ever.
No, I can't take that. And you don't have enough time to make dinner if we do that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I ordered out.
Oh, good night, and happy Father's Day, my friend.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. To you as well, Tetsemi.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, just for some strange reason, I decided we were going to have Japanese stakeout carryout.
Yum. I'm making one of Tet's favorites, lemon chicken, and then roasting some corn to go with that, and then desserts going to be easy. And I have a Kringle from Trader Joe's in the freezer that I'm just defrosting.
Nice. All right. We are live. I don't see anyone, and we may not get anyone commenting, but I do see us on Twitch. Let me see if they hear us.
On Twitch.
Us on Twitch.
Looks like everything's getting outputted.
Hey, Seema.
Oh, good. We have a Seema.
Yay!
Ah, thank you.
You think too? Oh, we're powered.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Just, it looks like Mew's holding an otter.
Probably is. The otter be.
It's just his microphone cover.
Yeah. It's fuzzy. It's so I don't pop all over the microphone.
Yes. I went with the boring orange.
You can actually tell what yours are.
All right. Yeah. There we go. Whenever you're ready, Mew.
Oh, no. Whoa. Hold on. We're upside down.
Oh, no.
Always the guess. Is it 90 or is it the other 90?
Right.
Okay, that looks good. I decided to move that. Oh, I hit revert.
Unvert.
Well, the thing is revert is the bright blue yes button. It's like, no. Confirm should be the bright blue yes button.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like, come on, people, get with it. There are notes. I don't have any steak on my face.
No steak on your face.
There we go. Podcat right here.
I do love podcasts.
Yeah,
I don't have a podcast.
See, there's a podcat right here.
Yeah, podcat tail.
Yes.
You have a podcast.
I mean, yours might be under your other computer.
She probably is, because you know why? That's near her
there?
daddy. No, because it's near her daddy.
Well, it is Dad's Day, so.
And we do know that she was born sometime around here.
Yep.
Probably on Father's Day, being the daddiest kitten ever.
Yep. Oh, Twitch. Hello, Twitch.
I'm not jealous or anything that the cat loves him more than me.
Yep. Jen is not at all jealous either.
Fracking annoying. Like, dude, I don't understand. Like, I feed you. I love you. It's very annoying. I cuddle you. You're just like me, which is probably where our problem is.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem. When you're alike, you clash.
Yep. All right.
All right. Oh, the camera moved again. Close enough. All right, are we ready enough for government work?
Oh.
Yep.
I do file government work, yeah.
Help hire government work. All right, if we're ready, then I will give things a start.
Jeez.
Yep.
All right, we shall start in 5, 4, 3, 2. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Big grats to Hell Froze Over.
The new SOTOR drop is asking a lot of questions. It's questionable. No, it's asking a lot of questions.
It's not questionable. It's fine.
The next TOT tournament is coming soon, very soon.
Hey, it's been a while.
And so we are here to talk to ourselves.
Yay!
All that and more coming up right about now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
And welcome to episode 405 of the podcast celebrating you, the LA Yaktas gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Mewcow. Greetings, guildies. And to the virtual left and many states over is Makala.
Guys, it's too hot to bake. But we all know I will be doing it anyway.
I mean, just, step outside.
Yeah, true.
And to her virtual right or left, or I can never keep track of which is which, is Tetsemi.
I have a Diablo 4 spreadsheet. No, I should, but I don't yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
No guests tonight, but we figured we would sit around and talk about virtual tables, catch up, that sort of thing. It's been a month.
It has
Very
been
busy
a month. Yeah.
It has been. Oh my gosh, right?
Yeah, it's yeah.
I don't know.
We
Last
had a
time
con
was,
or something.
yeah, and a guest, and last time was 404 guest not found, and I guess we're still looking.
Yeah. Yep. Last time was podcast not found because we didn't have one because of the said
con. Yep.
And now you're back and you're stuck with us.
Yay!
Yay, us.
On the loveliest of Father's Days. So happy Father's Days to all the fathers out there. You're probably too busy to watch us live, but maybe you'll hear us a little later.
Yep, absolutely. And happy Father's Day, folks.
So we'll dig into what we've been up to in and out of games shortly, but since it's just us, we're going to cover this week's news.
Excellent.
AIE News.
All right. Since it's a while and we always have some changes, we want to go over the mandatory fun night schedules, where the fun is mandatory but attendance is not. And just a reminder, if there has been any change to the schedule for the game you're involved in, game directors or whoever's organizing, just let us know so we can make sure we get that on our schedule, because sometimes we don't pay. We just kind of keep going with it without always knowing. So, all right. Sunday, WoW Classic, 2 p.m. Eastern. Monday, Guild Wars 2, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Monday, STO, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, SOTOR, 9 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. max time. Wednesday, that's a free night. Are we sure?
Whatever you want. Yeah, just do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah, do it. Yeah, that sounds good. Thursday, board game night, which is on the first and third Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Max or Central, however you prefer that. Friday, ESO, 9 p.m. Eastern. Friday, Final Fantasy XIV Magical Misk Tour, also at the same time at 9 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, Lotro at 8:30 Eastern. Saturday, Final Fantasy XIV Maps at 9:30 Eastern. And, of course, rounding up the fun, Saturday, New Braid and WoW at 11 p.m. Eastern.
All right, and in Streaming Guild podcast news, we have a ton of AIE member podcasts. You want to know where to find them? Look no further than right here. Starting with the SOTOR Escape podcast with Max and Seema at newoverlords.com. Also found there is the Behind the Games podcast with Jeff aka Max and Seema. Working Class Nerds with Marcus and Nick is at workingclassnerds.com, workingclassnerdscom.wordpress.com. Yeah, I see Nick got in the same trouble I did. All right. Boards and Swords with Chris and Philip is at boardsandswords.com. Dr. Gameology with Dr. Daniel Kaufman is at drgameology.com. And the STO Fleet Action Report with Greebog and Nikitas, which is now on Thursdays, because they switched their mandatory fun night and the podcast night. And that is at youtube.com at Fleet Action Report. And for your Final Fantasy podcast, a podcast reborn with Brandon, a.k.a. Old Man Franks, Megan, and Roe. And that can be found at bonusroll.gg/directory/a podcast reborn.
And just a quick reminder, both Working Class Nerds and A Podcast Reborn are not safe for life, much less, well, not safe for work, much less life. So make sure if you're listening that young ears, unless you want to explain a lot of stuff, you might want to make sure the young ears aren't listening.
Exactly.
In Nomad's news, they wanted to mention that Board Games Night, starting in July, they're changing their time to the first and third Thursdays at 6 Central to 7:30 Central.
Yep.
And I also know, is it its own section down below for all the Diablo fun?
Oh no, but we can mention that. We should mention that here. There is a dedicated Diablo 4 and a Diablo 4 spoilers channel. So feel free, if you're playing, to join in.
Very, very busy. I was noticing on my raid night, I looked up and said, there's a lot more D's than W's tonight. That's interesting.
Yeah, same thing. On my launcher, it was just all D's.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right. And speaking of WoW, the Hell Froze Over raid team completed normal mode raid last night and killed the first boss in heroic. So good job, team.
Yay!
The team once again broke their attendance record with 28 people present. Woohoo! It's pretty impressive.
That is awesome.
Especially when it's, they're competing with Diablo, so that's even more impressive.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's some dedication, folks.
Meanwhile, Let's Go Skating is through 5 bosses on heroic with eyes on killing more this weekend. Hey, that's how far my group is. Nice. The final wing of LFR opens this coming week, and the Catalyst is now up and running to help finish off those missing tier set pieces. I ended up getting my 4th piece that way and then got a 5th right after it, because that's how it is. As soon as you get something, it gets immediately replaced. That's just,
of course it is. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, I need a new shield. Let me get a nice shiny shield. Oh, I just got my best in slot shield. Well, thanks. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
The Wings of Sanctuary event is live, which means the Wings of Sanctuary is, yes, it's from Diablo, but they're celebrating Diablo in WoW, so we're still in the WoW section. I know it's a little weird.
Yeah, but, it happens. It's fine. It's fine.
They're a small indie company. They have to kind of all roll it all into one.
Yeah, otherwise you won't know what's going on, and obviously that cross advertising is awesome.
Yeah. There's also Mists of Pandaria Time Walking, which is actually pretty fun. The Mists of Pandaria dungeons are a lot of fun to run around in. It is the perfect week for returning players or alts to level super fast, cape and everything.
Yep.
Seriously, you can go from 60 to 70 in an afternoon by just running Time Walking Dungeon. Yes, I want to say it's like a level per dungeon when they have boosts like this.
Yeah.
So 10 dungeons, you're done. You don't have to go through this, because if you've already gone through the main story with your main, might as well just zoom through with the alts, because you can skip. You want to go to the cavern anyway, so it's
yeah.
There's also a note here that Noob Raid has ventured into Aberrus and is 5 of 8 in normal. So
Rats.
for them as well. Yeah. Hearing lots of good stuff about the current raid tier, it being like finally it's a decent setup in normal, and heroic is when it starts to get a little bit more challenging, and then mythic of course is when they just dumps on you. But
yep.
Yeah, it's hearing good things.
That's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what is going on in WoW Classic, Makala?
Oh, yes, thank you. I see. This is my line here. Okay, WoW Classic Trial of Crusaders, which is the new mini raid, is live next Thursday, in addition to a new wing/boss in the vaults of Archivon?
Mm-hmm.
I can never remember.
My
Yeah, it has.
Archivon,
I know.
Archivon. It's all
Archivon.
fun.
It's Archivon. Oh wait, Heather. And now the famous Onyxia is back with a vengeance. We did Onyxia. That's always fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 6 new bosses to keep us wanting for more until Ice Crown Citadel raid is bestowed upon us, and you can all go fight the Lich King again. Finally. You're prepared, right? No, yeah. Wrong one. And there is a new Titan rune. Beta dungeons are out too with a sweet catch-up gear, and that is in catch-up as in catching up and not as in the condiment.
Yes. Go to Fortnite if you want condiment armor. Anyway,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be keeping an eye on WoW Classic because I want to see what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
Because
they should be done, right?
What came next was Cataclysm, which was the whole
Right.
impetus
Yeah, absolutely.
for Classic because people wanted the world pre-Cataclysm. So
until they do a full world revamp with the dragon riding, and then that ends up being WoW 3.0, and then everyone's going to want 2.0 Classic.
Oh my god, no. Okay, now we're in like some weird paradox time loop, so no.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you've seen the stuff for 10.2. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, so it's the time travel patch, so who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, okay.
And just wait till 11.0 too. There's some crazy stuff speculating for what's coming there.
Yeah.
People, when you play with time, you risk a paradox which unravels creation. So let's not do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like existing.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Speaking of playing with time, let's talk about SWTOR. In SWTOR news, the 7.3 content drop happened this week. It brought a new questing area with gorgeous new graphics, a new dungeon, and a pretty awesome story beat. The story had us speculating about who is going to do what, to whom, and when. MFN continues to sail along on Tuesday nights. The summer season is bringing a new schedule for Wednesday night PvP. It's going to be roughly every 2 weeks. See, Wednesday is now going to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's still worth
then.
checking on any Wednesday to see what's happening. Friday nights is flying along with Galactic Starfighter. The current PvP season is drawing to a close, but there's still 8 weeks left to finish up Galactic Season 4.
Excellent. All right. In ESO news, they've been spending a lot of time running dungeons to level up the new Arcanist and checking out the new zones that were part of the Necrom chapter release. They've been working on trials again and have a lot of fun and are having a lot of fun doing so, even if they have less than 12 people normally. And signups for the next you told me TOT
Tales of Tribute tournament are underway, and the tournament starts tomorrow on June 19th. If you have questions about how it works or how to play or interested in signing up, feel free to ask in Discord. A demonstration match can be arranged to walk through how to play, as well as some tips and strategy.
And in Final Fantasy XIV, the FC buff rotation is going to change up a bit to give people more variety. The schedule is pinned into Discord, and Abo is going to work on a simple graphic for it at some point. Saja's Friday night events are still happening, with some big new events planned as we head through the summer.
All right.
Look forward to that.
Exactly. And Mew, did you want to mention anything with STO? This would normally be where we would slot it in.
Yeah, they have some new content in dealing with the Tholians. It's a event, interestingly enough, called Unravel. I
mean, Tholian Web, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And they're doing this thing, although I don't know how much time is left or if it's a repeating thing. They probably talked about this a while back. See, I just got back into STO and have been messing around with it.
Right.
Yep.
But there's this thing called Endeavors that you can get every few days, that if you do like a random TFO, but it's basically they're like a random dungeon, you get this box that can possibly drop this, special flagship thing. And of course you can buy the loot boxes, which I'm surprised still exist. But
Yeah.
STO still has loot boxes, which is interesting, and there's a random chance to get one of the T6 fleet ships, including what I think the new Titan, which we'll just leave there, and the other flagships for the other factions as well. And I think that's mostly it. And then of course all the summer events should be, the usual yearly event stuff should be coming up soon. So,
Very
that's about it.
All right.
The update.
In Guild Wars 2, the next Dungeons and More night is July 14th, so we're giving you plenty of time to get ready for that. And in Lord of the Rings Online, Update 36 is out, and they got a new level cap area, King's Gondor. Even with a fresh update, we just got some great teasers about Update 37, but first they have a patch that's expected to be out this week that's supposed to fix some of the lag issues. Big things are on the horizon for Lotro, so stay tuned.
Luckily, it is not the Golem game, because, ooh boy.
Yeah.
All right, with all that, let's find out what we've been up to in a game ourselves.
Yay!
All right.
Let's see, which of you is itching more to talk?
I mean, we both like to talk, so.
We do like to talk. We do
Go
like
ahead,
to
McCullough.
talk. All right. Okay, so obviously, a lot of gaming and work, but I have my favorite con story to share.
Uh-oh.
It's a great one. Tet may or may not have been here for it.
Oh, I was there for the story. I
you
just
were
wasn't
there
paying
for it.
attention
I
to
know you
what
were.
was
All
going on because I was focused.
All right, so we did Phoenix Fan Fusion 2 weeks ago, which is why we did not have a show. Had a pretty successful show. Great time, 3 days, meeting lots of people, smiling a lot, seeing a lot of really great cosplay. Had the lovely time of on Friday night, there was a gentleman dressed as Jaskar from The Witcher. A beautiful voice, with just, walking around serenading people. Quite the actor. Very, very entertaining. And he spent 30 minutes in our row, just chatting with us. Found out the next day he actually happens to be the prince from the Renaissance Festival. So that was fun. But that is not my story. That is not my story. All right. So, and you know how hard loadout is if we're doing it from the
Floating dock.
Traditional elevator.
Right. Well, so we were able to do it actually from the conferences. So they let us actually go through the conference center and
Nice.
do the elevators there, so we didn't have to deal with the parking, the dock and all of that. Thank goodness.
And also,
and it
the
was actually-
Diamondbacks game had let out an hour earlier, so we weren't stuck in the parking garage either.
Ooh, even
Right.
better.
So, and due to some changes we had made, we actually got out in record time for us. We were to the elevator by 5:30?
Wow.
Was it 5?
Half an hour? How did you do that?
Sebastian was there, so that definitely helped clean up.
Yeah.
But also we so you know how a lot of my stuff has to be individually wrapped and all of that?
Yup.
So we actually figured out the stuff, which is the pain in the bum stuff, which is what's on the hanging racks. And I can't believe we didn't figure this out earlier. We put cardboard around it and then saran wrapped it. It didn't tangle. So that literally
So then you just pick it up, lay it flat,
yeah.
and you're gone.
an hour.
Yeah.
Saved us an hour and a half, both set up and tear down. Anyway, so we get to the line really quick. We get into an elevator. It's Tet with one cart, one of our big carts, Sebastian with the other. I have the rolly. Kiki's was decided she was going to go wait in the car because we didn't need all the four of us. So we're in the freight, the elevator. There's not enough room for another vendor, but there is some people are trying to get into the elevator, so I hold it open. Like you do, because normally I'm claustrophobic, but we're all trying to get out of here. I'm not going to say, no, I don't, we're not going to share the elevator. So, and then I look over. And to my left, a few inches from me, eye to eye, is Ashley Eckstein, who plays Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
in Clone Wars and Rebels, and has been her voice actor since day one because she was one of the marquee guests. Actually, one of the few that actually would have gone to see because we do a con, it's a business thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, so we kind of we exchange some pleasantries, about how tired we are, and she looks down, and because it is the last day of con, I am not in costume. I am wearing a comfortable dress with pockets, which is what I do on the last day of con. And it happens to be a Her Universe dress, which happens to be her company.
Yep.
Oh. Nice.
So she's like, oh, you're wearing one of my dresses. And I'm like, yes. So it was just like one of these really great, sweet, cool moments. And then, of course, I thanked her for being a fabulous female force and, in geekery. They got out. We went down up another level, or one more level is where we were exiting. And so Sebastian and I are just exchanging the, oh my gosh, did that just happen? Tet, who was directly behind her, is so focused on getting us out that he had no idea what just happened.
Also, I just saw the back of her, so...
Right.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
saw
of
a
course.
short blonde one. And by the way, we are almost eye to eye.
Yeah.
She's a tiny girl. She's a tiny woman.
Yeah.
Like, had I been wearing my heels, we may have been close to the same height. She's tiny. So he's like, oh, well, who was that? I'm like, Ashley Eckstein. So I'm like, that was Ahsoka right in front of us.
Yeah, she's 5'2", by the way.
Okay, so yeah, if I was wearing my work heels, that she'd be an inch taller.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just one of those great, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened at con moments.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds like it.
And
Yeah.
literally, we got... After that, we got to the car, or got to the parking garage, in the elevator, up, and no line to get out, and we were...
Yeah. We were on the road by 6.
Yeah.
By 5:45, maybe. Like, we have never had a tear down that quick. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was our kind of con wrap up. But yeah, it was a really great con. So many great cosplays, so many lovely people. Lots of people were really interested in, our items, our merchandise. And so at this time, the headbands, because the jewelry is all on my end, and then Kiki and I do the headbands together. That's our deal. So it's always kind of okay, what's going to sell more, the headbands or the jewelry? And I believe the headbands sold 50.5% of the sales?
Yeah, it was a tenth of a percentage point difference. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was
And the thing was, at the very last moment, as we're packing up, the vendor who is next to us behind the curtain on the other side of us came over to buy a headband and bought the headband. That sale
put
put
her
the
over the
headbands
edge.
and
over.
that pushed it over. Yep. Yeah. So that was our con. Let's see. Work is crazy, but my boss is back tomorrow, and there's no more fires, or there were no fires while he was gone. So I was pretty impressed by that, because normally, if he's out of town, something horrible happens, and I need to deal with that. I think maybe because we've had so many issues lately. Are you gonna go and share that one, baby?
Yeah, if you want me to, I will.
Yeah, I'll let you do that
finish
part.
framing mine.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's been fine. Let's see. Gaming. I realized I need a spreadsheet to figure out my gaming, so that's okay. One of the games I'm doing is a Spelljammer game. With one of my dearest buddies, Mills. Our friends Brian, Dennis, and Mills' sister-in-law, Sarah. So Mills and I, he is playing basically a lich. He is playing, a primordial being who went power happy, and siblings drained him of his power and forced him into stasis. And then he rewoke with very little memories. And he's trying to piece together these memories. We find out that him coming back starts kind of unraveling a lot of creation, a lot of stuff. My character, I'm a astral elf, so he's a wizard. He is basically a revenant wizard. My character is an astral elf, druid of the stars. And we're playing Spelljammer, so it's all very spacey. Scholar, her parents went missing. And so now, and we kind of figured out that like the entire crew, our crew is all entwined. Well, we found out that my parents were investigating everything unraveling because his character came back. And now we're trying to deal with like these lost artifacts of, his lost vaults. And he's kind of remembering who he is. And yeah. And it's not like the emo stuff. Oh my gosh, I was horrible. Like, no, I want my power back. And I feel like my character is dealing with a cat and has a spray bottle in their hand.
Accurate.
I did what my friends say I need to actually put into my player highlight of is I talked my way. I told half truths in a zone of truth. But nice. I didn't lie.
You just didn't tell the complete truth.
I was very very talkative. I just kind of went around the truth, kind of. It was pretty great. So that's there. Star Wars. Well, we wrapped up one of our players' subplots. Basically, tracked down the syndicate that was involved with her character's murder, her character's parents' murder, which her uncle was tangentially involved in but didn't realize they would kill them. Uncle's running for Senate. Uncle's the better candidate, so he didn't kind of expose everything. The syndicate wants us to work for them. We're like, maybe, we'll see. But then we're told to, hey, investigate down low. The Republic wants us to investigate down low. There's a scientist. We need some information from him. We get to the planet. He's been killed. His daughter's there. There are multiple Imperial remnants out there. We found another Imperial remnant, so now we're up to 3. Good times. This was actually why I was at con. All this happened. But then basically we're trying to track down a beacon that's coming from a planet that's in a very remote place that's impossible to get to because, of course, it's surrounded by a moon that's been shattered, like the remnants of this moon, and you need to very specific ways to get through it. Well, when you got an agility of 6 and a piloting of 6, you can get through those. Mm-hmm. We were pursued by a Corvette, multiple TIE fighters. Good times. And I love Star Wars. I love the space battles, but you don't do them that often because they can be deadly. So they're done very few and far between, but my character is an ace. And my co-pilot is amazing. So we got through that. We got the planet. Oh, yes, by the way, it was a Sith homeworld. The people, not the Darksiders. But they use the dark side pretty, it was a tool.
Yeah.
So now we're tracking down this beacon and we're going through this ancient Sith temple and we're solving puzzles and riddles, which literally they go to the Sith code. Like at one point we have to figure out different emblems for the Sith code. And then we get to this other part where we have to pass a variety of tests. And in my character course, like, okay, well, let me meditate, kind of reach out to the Force. And because my character is very strong in sense, they do reach out with the Force a lot. That's their thing. And then stuff reaches back. And some horrible evil knows they're there. And is focused on her. So, yeah, the end of the session ended with me losing 8 points, so I'm closer to the dark side again. Not by doing evil, but just by being a very evil place and her reaching out to it and it reaching back. And so, yeah, it's a good time. It's a real good time. So that's about it. I don't know, Ted, what's up with you?
Well. Speaking of con, so the con and house stuff. So I put some pictures in the Discord. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can go back and look in the Discord in the AIE Podcast channel. Or if you're in Twitch, you can flip over to the Discord. But we got
time travelers.
Yep, we got some art from I think it's I want to say
Nigel Sade. Nigel Sade as
yep.
It's Studio D-Sod.
Yep.
Yeah,
and he is.
I got a lot of the same ones when he. They also go to the Texas Renaissance Festival.
Gotcha.
And I got a lot of those same ones that I just haven't framed and hung up yet.
Yeah. So we picked up 3 new ones, and my brain, of course, we're like, yeah, we want the taller
big ones
because those will match the ones we have. Narrators,
yeah.
No, they didn't.
Ted had gotten me the 2 X-wings and also there's
Iron
one Iron Man for my 50th birthday last year.
Yep. And so I was going to be, and the Ghost, he said, would be ready in the summer of last year, basically last summer after the con. So we were making sure we were going to get that this con. And of course he does a buy 2 get the third one free deal. And he had the not only did he have Ghost, but he also had the N1 from Mandalorian. And then of course he had this one. Which one is this?
Art of War. It is yeah, the Chimera, thanks.
Yeah, it's Thrawn's flagship and the 7th Fleet. So this is the basically he learned it's Thrawn's story of learning that the art of strategy literally from his art and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why this is the 7th Fleet. And then the other 2 were the existing ones we had, which are the original Luke's
the
X-Wing.
the T65, the 275.
Yeah, and then Poe's X-Wing, and then you can see Iron Man in the third one in the front center. But yeah, that's the difference in the size. We're like, oh, yeah, we got the bigger ones.
Yeah, we got the wrong. Yeah.
But it worked out because where we put them in the hallway, they actually fit perfectly. So
yeah.
Yep. And then there was, of course, there's always somebody doing tumblers, but we didn't get this, but we thought about our DMs. It says when the DM smiles and there's a 20, it's already too late. Yep. And then, and Mew, if I haven't sent her to you, I will. But there's a lady that, good Lord, I spent like half an hour talking with her about her art, and she is an ex-WoW player who just got into Final Fantasy 14 like 2 years ago, maybe. Yeah, I think like 2 years ago. And so when
the big hit happened, yeah.
Yeah, she's just getting current on the story. But when she went through, Garatia's storyline, she's like, oh, well, I got to draw him. And then, of course, had to draw this, and then she's got 2 others as well. So she's gonna eventually do a full set of the Scions. But right now, these were that wanted to show you those 2 because really lovely art, and of course for her, Graha Tia's best boy, so drives OMF crazy. But yeah, so that was our con. Artwork haul. I didn't get the Final Fantasy 14 ones yet. I want to see what else she's doing, but she's got some gorgeous, some really gorgeous art, and she has a set of D&D cards,
Tarot cards.
like tarot-sized cards, but it's all the original classes, with characters in appropriate armor representing all of the classes, and she sells it as a like an 8 or 12 pack. I forget how many original classes there were, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah, definitely that's really fun.
It's definitely good art style.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's crazy good. So the framing was part of the house stuff, getting the house ready for Sebastian to be here during the con. So we got the guest room ready. Ryan's moved over. Then we cleaned out the office, got that reset. So now and even the garage we worked on a bit. Now that
was yesterday.
Yeah, our bedroom's now the next big project we got to tackle. But I have been MMO free for the most part, playing just a lot of Diablo 4 because real life's been so busy. It's nice that you can pop in, do a couple quests, explore a couple areas, grab a few altars of Lilith, and log out, and you're all good. But in dice rolling, my character went crazy, but saved the ship. So
Yep.
My poor engineer. We finally got to the final chapter of the story and found out that in this colony ship, there's a storage area that's the size of an American football stadium, basically, full of stuff for the, because we're going to Alpha Centauri, they're going to put them, all the stuff we need is in there. Well, that's where this other dimensional creature had created a nest and was ingesting crewmates, and making the atmosphere very bad because it was methane and carbon dioxide and just enough oxygen that we had to basically rig the ship to flush some of the atmosphere into space to lower it below the stoichiometry so it wouldn't light from a spark or a gun going off. And then we went in and got some like amazing rolls to take that thing out. We're like, good. And then as it started to fade away, the crew members walked out of it that had disappeared. And we're like, oh crap, now we got to fight them. And that's where things went really bad.
Wrong.
Yeah.
You saw it though. You went crazy anyway.
Yeah, I saw it, failed my sanity roll badly, like permanent insanity. It just went permanently insane.
Lost almost all of his.
But thankfully, my sanity loss was paranoia, so he could still function. He just thought everyone was out to get him, except the ship's computer, who he's on good terms with. So literally, his brain snapped when he saw it and said, "Okay, everyone's an alien. They're all out to get me." So he ran to engineering to secure the ship, sealed them in to the hold on his way out, made it to the hold, and realized one of the aliens was in the hold, had the door to the singularity drive open, which is just leaking radiation into the ship, and there's a countdown going up that's at 90 and counting up to 100, and there's a teleport about to happen. And he was able to run in and hit the thing with a stun baton hard enough to knock it down, and then he just threw the corpse into the singularity drive. It was a very Spock moment. Thankfully, he made it out and slammed the door with like 2 hit points left because he had his environmental suit on already, and then proceeded to start locking down the rest of the ship while the rest of the crew fought the crew members that were coming out. One of our doctors, not McCullough's doctor, but our friend Talia's doctor, basically had one last dose of antidote, was able to aerosolize it and take out the doppelganger of her wife, and they basically died hand in hand. And then as McCullough's character and 2 others are like running for the exits, and the other crew members are chasing them. They caught McCullough's character in the hallway. Do you want to tell them what happened?
Okay, so first of all, because the vision, what we saw was so horrible, this creature was so horrible, even if you make your sanity check, you still take a loss. My loss was 10. My loss was huge, so I was affected by an insanity, a temporary one, for 4 rounds, and basically I was just very disoriented. Very disoriented to where had to make a con check or throw up.
In an environmental suit.
An environmental suit. So, yeah. So, one of our other crew members basically like put his helmet on me. We were running out, doing great. One of them got me, and like we were almost like I was almost done with the disorientation. One of them got me. Immediately, I joined the collective, and then but I died, and then I joined the collective. So it seemed like I popped right back up.
Yeah. Because the body of the one that killed her was coming apart, so it needed a new host.
Right. So basically, my DM's like, "All right, you want your friends, you want everyone to join you now. You now have a 90 strength and a 50 brawl. Amazing. So I have at least enough consciousness to pretend to be myself." So I'm like, let's go check, let's go to the cryo chamber. Let's go to the med lab. I'm just trying to get them isolated. And they, of course, because they saw me flatline, like, no, you're dead.
Yeah.
And we know that these things take control of other people. So finally, we end up going to the med lab. And fortunately, I had a helmet on. So the aerosol in the air did not actually undo my infection.
Yeah.
Had I had the helmet off, I would have been fine.
You would have been aerosolized. Yeah.
Exactly. So, then my DM's okay, and now you attack them. So the first time I attacked, I accidentally had it on whisper. So I was whispering the DM, and I got a great attack in. And then I'm like, well, that doesn't count really. It wasn't to the players. It was, and then I never got another hit in again.
She never got above 50 on any of her rolls.
Yep. So unfortunately, the doppelganger, my character was already dead. The doppelganger was killed. But it was, because my character's last moments were to one of her friends, like, take care of my kids, because we have, a bunch of people in cryo, including her 5-year-old twins.
Yeah. Who were all set to wake up in a few hours, which is why we had to get the ship under control and get rid of these doppelgangers so it didn't affect the colony. So my ship, because they convinced her, let's go to med bay, not the cryo. Got him in med bay, and I cut the power to the door, sealed him in med bay, and had the computer starting to evacuate med bay's atmosphere, and was going to basically vent it all out to kill them because, of course he's paranoid. But thankfully, once they took care of McCullough's doppelganger, they were able to convince the ship's computer to override my command and stop the venting. And then we're still waiting on the final wrap up of what happened. But basically, we got the ship on course, landed, and everything happened. But my character's still insane. But he basically
survived.
Yeah. So I survived. So that was that. And then, we're doing a one-shot campaign, and I rolled up a Hadozi rogue on a Spelljammer ship. So he's going to be maybe the navigator or the boatswain / lookout. So that's going to be fun. And then in our other pen and paper game, playing a Jedi Shadow. So we have 2 Force sensitives. Mills is a Force user, and so am I. But mine's all under mind manipulation, and very much Ben Kenobi going into Mos Eisley, these are not the droids you're looking for. You don't need to see our papers, move along. That whole thing. So very, very stealth oriented, very spy network. A lot of fun doing that. Heather's playing a Twi'lek
Twi'lek medic,
medic.
but actually also a rebel agent. But
Yes.
instead of, being all sneaky, she's a medic. She's very charming. She's, you want her around.
Yeah.
So she's able to kind of get information through that instead of the normal.
Yeah. So that's what we've been up to. What about you, Mew?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Let's see. Let's go and look at the notes here. So I guess we'll do the in-person stuff. We've also been doing some housework. We've kind of started just kind of improving the house in general. We figure, A, it'll be great for us, and B, it'll be great for resale if we do decide that down the road.
Absolutely.
So we've been starting with one of Jen's projects. She wanted to redo the garage. So we spent last weekend and part of this weekend clearing all that out. And of course, it's over 100 degrees out, so that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I did, at least for last weekend, I did bring in, we had a little rolling AC unit, and we just stuck the hose out we cracked the garage door and just let all the hot air go out that way. But it made it, it was only, in the 80s instead of, 105.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've just been, and it's funny just clearing out all that stuff. It's like, wow, this garage is so much nicer now. It's not even, been redone. Just having all that stuff out of the way, which of course it's all sitting in our gaming room. So
yeah, of course.
Once they're going to redo the floors and they're going to put in a bunch of cabinets for us, and they're going to put some slat board so that you can have like little hanging hooks and all of that kind of fun stuff. So you can essentially have wall storage, and so all that stuff won't be lumped in a corner somewhere. It'll actually be somewhere nicer and out of the way, and give us a little more room. Yeah. And then we can put up some lighting and all that other kind of stuff, because it's, even though we have like a super bright light in the middle, that's the only light source for the whole garage. So
right.
Figure we'll put some light strips and whatnot. We threw a bunch of stuff up in the attic because the garage has an attic as well as the house has an attic. So kind of just been shoving whatever we can. It's like, does that fit? Yep, throw it up there. Does that fit?
Yeah,
yep, throw it up there.
We understand. We do the same thing.
Yep, and then part of it too is, will it melt up there? No, okay.
Yeah, that's the big question.
Yep. So, because we've got a couple of items that some decorations that did not make it because they melted. So
no.
So you got to be careful with that. But yeah, that's been the big focus, and then my other focus is to basically reorganize like the entire office, which you can't really see because it looks about the same behind me. But over there, I kind of have a new fridge that we're going to Nuka-Cola-ize.
Nice.
Excellent.
Oh, that's
my
awesome.
gosh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it looks like it's the perfect arrow too. Yeah.
Yep, it's the right air. I just got to remove that Frigidaire and put a Nuka-Cola logo on it, and then it'll be good to go.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that's the old fridge up there. I'm just been slowly moving things out of it and doing that. So it's handy because with the kiddo, he often has 3 a.m. milk cravings. So now I have a place where I can just keep a milk jug, so I don't have to trudge all the way downstairs and feel like go a few blocks down to the fridge downstairs to get that taken care of. But also, hello. All of my WoW stuff is over there now, including all the books and all that kind of stuff. So, and I kind of stacked stuff up. And then over here is the boys' Minecraft computer, which that was put together these last couple weeks, because he plays Bedrock Minecraft on his iPad constantly. But every now and then he asks about, I keep hearing about this Java Edition thing, Java Edition. Well, so now we have a Java Edition computer, which also it'll do Bedrock as well, of course. But
yeah,
he's always curious about that, because Java Edition, being the original edition, it's where they put all the experimental stuff. They have all the beta builds and whatnot. So he's always curious. Like, I keep hearing about this one thing, and I want to poke at it and see how it is. So yeah, we have that. We also set up his drum set. He's got a little flat drum set, the little electronic thing, so he can do a little bit of practice because he goes to drums and violin. So yeah, we have that all taken care of. I also have, which is it's probably you can probably see me a bit better on screen now because I have the lights are now here instead of
Yeah, no, it
behind
looks
me.
great.
Yeah, so
I can see the
they were in
reflection
the
of
back
your
corner.
setup in the picture.
Yeah. You can see yourself because look.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's that side, and then the other side I have all the Final Fantasy and Destiny and other stuff over there. So I'm trying to go through all that, and then I have just lots of cubes of stuff, and it's
Yeah.
years of stuff. So
Yep.
I basically have been I grab a cube, I go through it and say, okay, where does this go? This goes where it's supposed to go, or it gets donated, or it gets put in the sale pile, or it gets tossed.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
it's like,
what-
who
yeah,
are we
we did that
saving this for?
yesterday.
Why are we saving it? Give it to him now, or, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much the process. And then once I'm done with all the cubes, then I can work on the closet, which hasn't been touched since we moved in here. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
which I'm pretty sure has all of my Star Wars stuff because I can't find my Star Wars stuff.
Probably there.
Probably.
I found the lightsaber holder. I found the lightsaber holder, but not the lightsaber. So
No,
that thing should be a little bit more obvious, you'd think.
you would think, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm also probably going to turn the balcony behind me into a catio because that tends to be where they hang out.
That'd
so.
be great for them.
Yep. So we're probably going to put a retractable screen on there so that we can go up. Have to go up and down. I thought about doing the permanent version, but I kind of like the idea of being able to open it and close it when need be. But
I love the
yeah.
name Catio, though. That's perfect.
Yep. They're the ones that use it the most, and in fact, I've moved a lot of their toys and scratching posts out there, and now it's just, usually at least once a day I'll hear a meow, and it's not food time. It's like, no, that's a meow that he wants to go outside. So
Yeah.
I'll open up the balcony door, and he can go out there, and the two of them will hang out and chitter at moths and birds and squirrels because it's on the second floor. It's a second floor balcony, so they can see all of the stuff going on in the trees. So it's great for cats to look out.
So there's
So-
I just posted in the podcast Discord, there's our lightsaber holder.
We might have a lightsaber problem.
I mean, is it a problem?
No,
No.
not really.
So yeah, that's all the real life stuff for the most part. Other than it's just being, over 100 degrees out, but I think it was 105 today, with
same.
with humidity.
No.
Yeah, that's the extra bonus fun we get in Texas. To the point where it's, I've only ever felt that kind of air in South Florida, the physical air that you try to walk through and you can feel it pushing back on you, and you're like,
no.
You can't see it, but you can feel it. Like
Yes.
it's like there's a
It's
physical
like
wall
you're
there.
swimming through it.
Yes,
I
so,
don't believe in such a thing. No.
Yeah. Then don't come visit here for a little bit because yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. Yeah. No, thank you.
And this is supposed to be a mild summer too, so that's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's
I
not going
know.
to be like I think
It's
last
supposed
summer
to be a
was what?
mild, wet summer because of El Nino.
Yes.
So,
Yes, it's a super El Nino, they say.
yep.
So we're supposed to have more rain and less heat. So instead of it being 3 months of 100 plus, it should only be a month of 100 plus. So
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yep.
then over in gaming news, I've had the itch to play a lot of STO lately. That's why I was able to chime in on a bit of that. Because I do have a lifetime account, so it's always there. So I've been poking at the new event, trying to get the little Endeavor things going on, doing some of the new Romulus stuff, and I finally started a temporal officer, which is
Nice.
essentially you start in the original series essentially, and then stuff happens, and then you're with all the other players.
Yep.
So, but that was neat, being able to go back and, it was a little bit of looky there, look it's Kirk, look it's Kirk, look it's look at Spock, look it's Chekhov, which I understand. Like it's their big deal. They finally get to do some TOS, and it's live TOS kind of, as you can say. Like look, it's appropriate content to what you're doing.
Right, absolutely.
So yeah, I've I've remember watching the reruns
Mhm.
way back when. But I definitely grew up with TNG, so that it's nice to get back and see what's going on, and of course really enjoyed all the latest Trek, at least the Picard Trek. I have not. I still need to start watching Discovery so that I can start watching Strange New Worlds. Um, because I hear nothing but good things about Strange New
Yeah,
Worlds,
that
and
is what I
that's
hear too.
Yep.
yeah.
That and Lower Decks.
Well, yeah, no, Lower Decks is amazing.
Yeah.
Which surprisingly, I asked my dad because he's of course the Trekkie that got me into it, and I
Right.
asked him about it. He's like, oh yeah, Lower Decks is the best Trek I've ever watched. Like what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
really? It's like wow, okay, that's high praise from you. You were like he's got like he's also a huge reader, so he has a wall of Star Trek novels.
Yep.
Of original series novels, and I remember
Right.
reading a lot of those as a kid. And I saw some really interesting stories for Star Trek from those
My
books.
my best friend had a lot of those, so I did read a lot of those in high school.
Yeah, I remember one where they became crabs. Yeah, that was fun. And apparently Spock started getting sick because he was allergic to the blood makeup of the crab he turned into. So, yeah,
Interesting.
Wow. That's something.
yeah, it's a stretch. Yeah, but I remember that's one of the stories that stuck out. So yeah, I don't know. I've just been drawn to. I mean, I have lots of Trek memorabilia. I've got some old Trek manuals from like ages ago, like
Hmm.
back in the '60s kind of books. So yeah, just one of those things where I just kind of come and go with STO and poke at it, and it's something you can play on your own, and of course it is technically free to play, but you
Yeah,
can pay
yeah.
into it and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I've been poking at that. Also, we started poking a little bit at ESO. I was going to play some of the new content, but then I got lost in the house, so I never made it to the new content. So eventually, I might see the new content. We'll see. But I basically made one of the new class so that I could get the free in from the new area. 'Cause that's how
Gotcha.
you do it.
Yep.
That way, you save yourself 3,000 gold. You just get it for free. Um, but at some point, I'll be ready to run around Skyrim again. So we'll see.
Yep. Awesome.
Over on WoW, I did. My heroic team is 5 of 8, much like. So we went skating. I think is their name.
Hell freeze over.
No, the other
Oh
one.
no. Sorry, 1 second. Let me get up to the notes. Yes. Sorry, my brain went to. So that is Let's go skating.
Yeah, let's go skating. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, yeah, and it seems to be about the cadence. We're at the boss that like there's essentially 2 wings, and you can choose which way you want to go. You've got the easy entry boss, and you've got the somewhat easy side bosses, the medium difficulty ones after that, and then you join up again to the center boss, and he's where the difficulty ramps up again. That's why most places are 5 of 8 or 5 of 9, I think, because of that boss. And yeah, there's just fire everywhere and chaos, and yeah, but we're working on that, and yeah. But yeah, and then Final Fantasy 14, of course we had the new patch with the end of the raid tier, and I've actually been doing the normal raid weekly. I just finished getting the new gear for my paladin, which looks really neat. It's this neat blue glittery stuff, and it's got a bunch of crystals floating behind you. So it looks pretty neat.
Very nice.
So yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I just I haven't really been focusing on just one game anymore. I've kind of just been keeping things fresh by bouncing around from game to game to
Good.
game. Yeah. So yeah, just going where it's fun. That's how games are supposed to be, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. They're not supposed to be work. They're supposed to be fun. If it starts to feel like work, move on. New game.
Exactly. But that's probably enough out of us, I think.
Yeah.
We've been talking. This is what happens when you don't give us guests.
I know. It's like, yeah, we just keep going because otherwise, we're doing what we've been doing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep this to 5 minutes. Like, oh, wait, it's 5:20, and or in our case, yeah, We were 20 minutes into the show, and now we've gone over the news. So, okay, I guess we're going to talk.
Yep. So I guess that's enough for us. So that'll be the show for tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles, and we thank you for coming here. I know a lot of you are busy today,
Yep.
so we do thank those that were able to show up. We'll be looking for show titles, and we do want to thank us for joining us. So thank you, us.
Yay, us!
We'll see you in 2 weeks, us.
Yes, absolutely. And as always, if you have questions or comments about our show, you can email us at podcast.aieguild.org@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. The show is as long as that platform exists. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mew is at the Mew Cow. I am at Cyberwave, and Tet is at Ivory Tiger. We record approximately every other Sunday live with video at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on the AIE-guild.org/podcast. Dash again. I forget the word dash. Live dash streams, and the link for our Discord server can be found at AIE-guild.org. For past episodes, go to the YouTubes and search for the AIE Podcast. Our theme, of course, was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys of Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And if we had any member segments, this is where we would play them. Just a reminder, if you do have member segments, 90 to 120 seconds, and we will get them in here. If you submit a Langtheris level member segment, you get your own podcast.
Yep. So be careful. And next time we'll be talking to guest in game. So until then, AIE, this is Mew Cow.
This is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Yay!
I kind of want to use something with ketchup gear.
Ketchup gear.
It's been a month. Ketchup gear.
Ship in a box. Closer to the dark side. And Seema's games are fun. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I my vote is working something with ketchup gear personally.
Or catch-up podcast. It's been a month catch-up podcast instead of catch-up
yes,
gears.
There we go. Yes. I like it.
Catch-up podcast.
All right.
Yes.
There we go.
Games are for fun.
And games are for fun, Seema. Yes, absolutely. If you're not having fun, find another game.
Don't do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
why are you there?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, chat room. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Yay!